What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A Taiwanese fishing boat has collided with a Chinese fishing vessel near Taiwan's Penghu Islands, injuring one crew member. It's the latest in a series of incidents involving Chinese and Taiwanese vessels in the waters around Taiwan. Tiffany Wong is following the story for us from Taipei. Tiffany, what do we know about this collision?
Well, the collision happened on Wednesday morning near Taiwan's Penghu Islands. There was both a Taiwanese fishing vessel and a Chinese fishing boat operating in the same area near the median line, about 42.5 nautical miles or 78 kilometers away from Penghu, when the Taiwanese boat collided with the Chinese fishing boat, and they claimed that was an accident. That actually injured a Filipino fisher on the Taiwanese boat, so they reported the incident to Taiwan's Coast Guard. Now, Taiwan's Coast Guard sent a vessel to pick up that injured Filipino fisher to take to a medical facility on Penghu, and they also sent two other vessels to go and inspect that Chinese boat. Now, they said that the Chinese boat appeared to speed away, and so they ended up using water cannons to try to stop it from escaping. This is the Coast Guard's version of events.
获报后立即派遣永康舰1008拐艇及351幺钩艇前往应处。永康舰于11时抵达通报海域，发现胜船及民船，及实施广播鸣笛，要求停船受检。大陆船拒绝停船，并加速往陆方蛇行逃逸。永康舰即实施水炮来强势拦截。
Well, the Taiwan Coast Guard wasn't able to catch up to that Chinese fishing boat, but they were later apprehended by the Chinese Coast Guard, also near the median line later in the afternoon.
How serious is this incident in terms of cross-strait relations? Is it likely to undo any of the goodwill from an agreement the two sides made earlier this week over another collision?
Well, there hasn't been a strong reaction here in Taiwan. Later, of course, it was the Chinese Coast Guard that ended up boarding that Chinese fishing boat and conducting the inspections, and they were sharing that information with Taiwan's Coast Guard. So there was some cooperation, communication there. And Taiwan's Coast Guard earlier told me that they don't expect this situation to escalate, and the Taiwanese fishing boat has returned to Taiwan's shores as well. And they've also maintained that their use of water cannons was in line with standards, considering that the Chinese boat appeared to be speeding away. But there have been a series of boating incidents in the Taiwan Strait this year. As you mentioned, most recently, the bodies of two Chinese fishers who were killed in a boat chase near Taiwan's Jinmen Islands were finally repatriated after months of negotiations. Now, that's brought up hope that two Taiwanese fishers that are currently detained in China may be released soon. But as you can see, these kinds of negotiations take time. And as more and more of these incidents occur, a solution may be more difficult to come across.
Thank you, Tiffany. That was our reporter Tiffany Wong joining us from Taipei. New figures out show that Taiwan's gender pay gap is the worst it's been in more than a decade. And it's not just about salary. John Van Trieste explains.
The Labor Ministry has bad news for the country's women. Its newest analysis from 2022 shows they fall far behind men in terms of total earnings, 160% behind to be exact. That's an 11-year high. The calculation wasn't based on only the gender wage gap, which at 15.8% in 2022 was on the higher end when compared with Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries. It included other sources of income, like stocks and other investments. Even though Taiwan's wage gap has narrowed somewhat since 2022, many women still feel they don't get what they deserve in the workplace. And while frustrated, they aren't really hopeful things will change.
虽然说现在目前男性也可以请产假、陪产假跟孕假，但是其实多数时候我们看到的 我们传统的家庭观念还是会认为这是属于女性应该负责主要责任的部分，所以也就造成很多雇主在聘用女性员工的时候，就把这些未来有可能产生的困扰隐藏在薪资结构里头。
我觉得这是跟企业的那个文化有关啦。从以前古早就是重男轻女，所以我觉得这个现象应该还是会一直存在下去的。
Job bank websites say one reason for this gap in total income is that fewer women get into high-paying industries, and fewer of those who do manage to get far up the career ladder.
无论在白领的高薪工作或蓝领的这个技术工作比较高薪的一个部分，其实这个男女比例比较失衡的情况下，也造就所谓的这个男性的一个薪资会高于这个女性。
But gender equality activists say lingering patriarchal norms and a lack of transparency are also to blame.
多数的台湾女性，她可能会被预设，她必须要负担家庭的照顾。国外其实他们透过了一些家庭工作平衡的制度，来让就是雇主不会那么容易的去预设女性她在投入劳动上面一定跟她的工作是有所冲突的。过去几年也不断的在呼吁说，台湾应该要仿效欧洲这样子的薪资透明化的制度。
But so far, such transparency remains just an idea. And for all its progress towards gender equality in recent years, especially in politics, in the workplace, Taiwan has yet to get its glass ceiling to budge. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Two professors at a university in southern Taiwan are out on bail after taking bribes from students. The professors are accused of taking payments of up to $12,000 to ghostwrite students' master's and doctoral theses. The two professors have admitted to the crime and have been released on bail, along with a student linked to the case. 3 hikers have been confirmed dead after their bodies were found in Taiwan's central mountain range. The 3 went missing hiking on a trail in southern Taiwan during Typhoon Penghu. The trio had set off before official warnings for the storm were issued. Search and rescue teams discovered their bodies about an hour away from a mountain shelter on Wednesday. The UN says Palestinians detained by Israel have been subjected to torture and mistreatment. It's released a report on the alleged abuses, which it describes as widespread.
Detainees say they have been held in cage-like facilities, stripped naked for prolonged periods, wearing only diapers. They tell of prolonged blindfolding, deprivation of food, sleep and water, and being subjected to electric shocks and being burnt with cigarettes.
The UN's Human Rights Office says that Israel has arbitrarily detained thousands of Palestinians since October the 7th, when Hamas carried out a surprise attack on Israel. The UN's findings could be used by prosecutors at the International Criminal Court, who are looking into crimes by both sides. Israeli prison authorities say they operate within the law and are not aware of the abuses described in the UN report. Taiwanese boxer Wu Shiyi has advanced to the women's 60-kilogram quarterfinals at the Paris Olympics, guaranteeing Taiwan's first medal of the Games. It comes after Wu beat Ecuador's Maria Jose Palacios 4-1. In badminton, Dai Ziying was eliminated in the group stage after she lost to Thailand's Ratchanok Itanon in the women's singles. It marks an early exit from her final Olympics. Meanwhile, Zhou Tiancheng defeated Hong Kong's Li Chokyeo in a men's singles preliminary match, advancing to the next round. Tokyo Olympic gold medalists Li Yang and Wang Qilin also triumphed over China and will head to the men's doubles quarterfinals. Taiwanese table tennis star Zheng Yijing is advancing to the quarterfinals after claiming another victory at the Paris Olympics. Zheng defeated Poland's Natalia Bajor 4-0 in the women's singles and is set to face either India or China in the next round. Paddler Lin Yunru, nicknamed the Silent Assassin, also secured a spot in the quarterfinals after beating Slovenia's Darko Jorgic in the men's singles. But it wasn't all good news for Taiwan's table tennis team. Paddler Gao Chunrei was eliminated after losing to Sweden's Trull Mårgård in the men's singles. A Taiwanese boxer competing in Paris has been caught in the middle of a gender controversy. She and an Algerian competitor have been cleared to compete by the Olympics Committee, despite previously failing a gender test. And as Joyce Sung reports, high-profile figures are continuing to weigh in.
After being cleared to fight for Olympic gold, 28-year-old Taiwanese boxer and two-time world champion Yu-Ting should be focusing on the competition, but is instead embroiled in another unwelcome controversy over her gender. Now that includes renowned author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, who's previously angered many with her outspoken stance against transgender rights. Rowling posting on X, "What will it take to end this insanity? A female boxer killed?" It's a reaction to the International Olympic Committee's decision to clear Ling and Algerian boxer Imani Khalif to compete after both were disqualified at the World Championships last year, having failed gender tests administered by the International Boxing Association, a federation no longer recognized by the Olympics.
We all have a responsibility, by the way, to try to dial down this and not turn it into some kind of witch hunt. These are regular athletes who've competed for many years in boxing. They're entirely eligible. They are women on their passports, and that, I think, is enough said from me.
The Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee has emphasized that Lin's eligibility complies with international rules. Throughout her career, Lin has always competed as a woman and does not identify as transgender. It's a position Lin's team has maintained ever since she was stripped of her World Championship bronze medal last year, a disqualification that Lin said she had never dealt with before. While the question of whether transgender women should be allowed to compete in women's sports is fiercely debated, with critics citing safety concerns to female competitors, it's an issue that's brought invasive speculation into many female athletes and their bodies. South African sprinter and double Olympic champion Caster Semenya is still fighting a more than 5-year battle in court to overturn World Athletics rules that force female athletes with differences in sexual development to medically reduce natural hormone levels.
My last chance winning Olympics was 2016. So Paris Olympics is not really my goal. My goal is more on winning my battles, against the authorities. It's me fighting for what's right.
As for Lin, the shot to compete in Paris is a high point in her 15-year boxing career. Lin has fought among the best, including two-time British Olympic gold medalist Nicola Adams in 2016. Though Lin lost to Adams, speaking to TaiwanPlus in the lead-up to Paris, Lin described the sacrifices she's made to stay motivated to bring home Taiwan's first gold medal in the sport she loves.
再重来一次，让我投胎再重来一次，我可能还是会选拳击。我就是要好好把握巴黎奥运这场比赛，那为自己、为台湾，然后拿到一个属于我们台湾的奥运金牌。
And Lin's chance is coming up soon. She's the top seed in the women's 57-kilogram featherweight class in Paris, earning her a first-round bye, and will take on Uzbekistan's Sitora Turdybekova on Friday. Ethan Chen and Joyce Sun for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Do visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, take a look at these tuataras. They're apparently an ancient species of reptile, and they're at Chester Zoo in England. I'm Louise Watt. Take care. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching TaiwanPlus. For more stories from around the world, including the Solomon Islands, download the TaiwanPlus app.